areas that would support effective implementation. There's need for increased stakeholder engagement. We need to institutionalize regular consultation forums between the authority, farmer organizations, and financial institutions to monitor its implementation. Chairperson, honorable members of this committee, we are of the view that this bill empowers farmers, it builds investor confidence, and enhances Zambia's competitiveness in regional and global value chains, such as the ones we have given as examples. We are of the view that it is comprehensive, it is also forward-looking and responsive to the needs of our agricultural sector. Its enactment will strengthen agricultural credit systems and promote structured commodity markets and drive inclusive growth for our nation. Chairperson, with your indulgence, allow me to move to the next submission on the ramifications of the Agriculture Marketing Bill. Allow me to present a summarized form of the bill in the interest of time. The Agriculture Marketing Bill number 35 of 2025 is a very important piece of legislation because it provides a very important turning point in terms of how we conduct agricultural marketing in our country. We are of the view that it builds a very important building block between farmers, for example, who are in Mumbwa and are wondering how they will sell their soybeans or even find fair market prices. Traders, for example, in Lusaka, who seek reliable supply chains for their commodities. We are of the view, Chairperson, that the bill provides a framework that will carry our agriculture, the agriculture of our country from just being a subsistence type of agriculture to a true competitive sector that will participate in regional and global markets. Why is this bill very important? For a very long time, Chairperson, we know that agriculture is a backbone of our economy, yet it suffers from inefficiencies in marketing systems which have potentially constrained growth, discouraged investments, and limited farmer incomes. The bill before us addresses these challenges by, first of all, establishing an Agriculture Marketing Council as a central authority to regulate and coordinate agricultural markets. Two, by creating the Agricultural Marketing Observatory Unit to provide timely evidence-based data for policy and market decision making. Thirdly, the bill seeks to promote competitiveness and innovation in agricultural products and services across domestic, regional, and international markets. The bill also provides a framework for intervention measures to stabilize markets and safeguard food security. Some of the key strengths of the bill, Honorable Chairperson, members, are that the bill provides a clear institutional framework that will guide how our markets, are managed in terms of agriculture and marketing of crop commodities. Secondly, the bill ensures data transparency so that our farmers and investors alike can plan, for their agricultural activities with confidence. Thirdly, the bill will promote market access by opening doors, from within, our local space all the way to regional markets and potentially even international markets. More importantly, the bill recognizes smallholder farmers, women and youths. These are the backbone of our agricultural economy, and as such, it also embraces, modern day, technologies such as digital traceability, innovation, and infrastructure that are very important, to drive how, marketing is conducted. Last but not the least, a key strength of the bill is that it enforces accountability, because markets thrive on integrity and on being protected by the accountability that comes with it. Some strategic benefits of the bill, like I mentioned, are that for farmers, structured markets will pave way for fair competition and reduced price volatility. On the part of government, the bill will provide a coordinated system that aligns marketing with food security and trade policy. For those who seek to invest, the bill provides predictability, transparency, and encourages investment in storage, processing, as well as logistics. Taken together as a country, this bill will provide a framework for a stronger position in regional and global agricultural value chain markets by enhancing our export competitiveness. Some of the recommendations we'd like to make, to strengthen effective implementation include: to ensure that the bill achieves its intended impact, implementation should be guided by practical measures that empower all stakeholders. Capacity building initiatives that will help farmers navigate, the complexities of registration and compliance requirements, while providing for innovative financing mechanisms such as public-private partnerships that can accelerate development of market infrastructure, especially in underserved areas. Equally, it is important to ensure that mechanisms are put in place to make available data from the observatory unit affordable and accessible, so that we can enable all key stakeholders involved in marketing to have access for them to make informed decisions. By institutionalizing regular consultations with farmer organizations, for example, processors and traders, this will foster inclusivity, transparency, and responsiveness, ensuring that the crop marketing system remains dynamic and beneficial to the entire agriculture sector. In conclusion, on this particular submission, we are of the view that the Agriculture Marketing Bill number 35 of 2025 is progressive and provides a visionary framework that will shape Zambia's agriculture sector towards being market-oriented. It balances private sector efficiency with farmer protection, ensuring that our markets serve both national food security requirements and regional trade ambitions. We strongly recommend the bill, and once enacted, we believe that with assurance that its implementation will advance Zambia's agricultural competitiveness, inclusivity, and resilience. Last but not the least, Chairperson and honorable members, allow me to draw your attention to our submission on the ramifications of the Food Reserve Bill number 33 of 2025. Chairperson, honorable members of this committee, once again, thank you very much for the opportunity accorded to us to provide our voice, to provide a few remarks on the Food Reserve Bill number 33 of 2025. Our submission mainly focuses on how the bill, if enacted, will affect crop marketing in Zambia, both positively and in terms of some potential risks that would require maybe some careful consideration and oversight. Some of the key provisions of the bill include that crop marketing in Zambia has historically been shaped by FRA's interventions, particularly in maize procurement. While FRA has played a stabilizing role, challenges have included times, as evidence has shown from literature, price volatility during marketing seasons, limited diversification beyond maize, information asymmetry between farmers, traders, and policymakers, and concerns, from private sector regarding crowding out of them from being able to participate. So in terms of the implications for crop marketing, this bill will provide reforms that broaden FRA's mandate, integrate regulatory agencies, and expand the scope of designated commodities. These changes would directly influence crop marketing systems and farmer incentives. Some of the key provisions that we've identified in the bill that affect crop marketing include the following: designation of commodities. The minister is empowered to designate cereals, oilseeds, and stock feeds as essential for food security. The bill also provides for potential to diversify production and marketing beyond maize. There's also risk of politicization if designation is not evidence-based, and these are some of the things that the bill tries to cure. Market stabilization and pricing. The FRA is mandated to establish pricing models based on prevailing marketing rates. This could reduce volatility and improve predictability for farmers. However, this requires transparency to avoid crowding out of private sector. We are also of the view that there is a need for strong collaboration with regulatory agencies, for FRA to coordinate with the Agriculture Marketing Observatory, commodity exchanges, and Zambia statistical agencies. We also believe that this bill will provide a framework that strengthens crop forecasting, food balance sheets, and market intelligence, and ensure a structured marketing and reduced information irregularity. The bill also, provides for FRA to participate in community sales. FRA is authorized to sell commodities at affordable prices to institutions and vulnerable groups and support social protection, but this has a potential to risk of creating market distortions. The other point we'd like to draw your attention to is in terms of the participation of private sector. The inclusion of farmer associations, millers, and traders on the FRA board, in our view, institutionalizes private sector voices in governance, which is, in our view, a positive step. I have already talked to the risks and challenges which I have earlier highlighted in my submission, which includes the potential of crowding out, the dual pricing, community sales at subsidized rates which may distort retail markets, the fear of risk of politicization of crop marketing decisions, and constraints that may affect stock management and forecasting, requiring strong institutional capacity and adequate funding. Allow me to make a few recommendations, Chairperson, honorable members, to maximize the benefits of this bill while mitigating the risks that we have observed. Firstly, we are of the view that mandating FRA to publish procurement prices, reserve levels, and release schedules to ensure transparency. We are of the view that anchoring commodity designation in objective criteria such as the national food balance sheet rather than arbitrary decisions could help address the issue of market volatility, structuring community sales to protect vulnerable groups without undermining the participation of private sector, and strengthening the oversight by requiring FRA to report regularly to other players within the market in order to collectively make these decisions. The other recommendation we would like to make is there's a need to invest in crop forecasting. Of course, the aspect of warehousing is already taken care of in the other bills I've spoken to, including the use of digital platforms to support efficient and transparent crop marketing, among others. In conclusion, we are of the view that the Food Reserve Bill number 33 of 2025 represents a significant reform in Zambia's agriculture sector. It has the potential to create stability in crop markets, diversify production, and enhance food security. We note that its success will depend on issues of governance, evidence-based decision-making, and inclusive stakeholder engagement. And we believe that all key stakeholders involved in the agriculture marketing of crops, have a role to play to ensure that Zambia's agriculture sector remains competitive and serves, the livelihoods of many farmers who depend on agriculture as a source of income. I submit, Chair.
Director, thank you very much for your submission. And this time around, before we ask the honorable members of Parliament to come up with some of the questions, let me request the honorable colleagues who just joined us, who were not there when we were introducing ourselves. Yes, Vice Chair.
Thank you. Good morning, Honorable Chairperson, and good morning, Minister of Agriculture. Michael Katambo, MP from Masait Parliamentary Constituency. Chair, I was attending to the IPU meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, Zari. Andrew Tangwa, MP for Kabata.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, witness. My name is Malama Mufunero, Member of Parliament from For Constituency.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, witness. I'm Lusale Simbao, Member of Parliament for Luansha constituency.
Yes, honorable colleagues, so it's now time to ask questions and points of clarifications. Yes, Honorable Tangwa.
Okay, thank you very much.
So what we are going to do, Director, will allow, at a time, 3 questions. So you should always be taking note. Yes, Honorable Tangwa.
Okay, thank you very much, Chairperson. Witness, I'll take you back to the bill that we're discussing. Now, this is the Food Reserve Bill of 2025. I'll specifically talk about part 3, the role of the minister. In your submission, you did actually indicate I think on page 1, you did actually submit under key provision affecting crop marketing season. You talked about the risk of politicalization of designation is not evidence-based. Just wanted to find out, in the bill, there are stakeholders that have complained that the powers given to the minister are too vast. What is your view concerning part 2, article number 17, the powers that have been designated to the minister? Then also, on the same bill, there are other stakeholders who have actually complained that the voice of a small-scale farmer is not yet, it's not amplified in this bill. Equally, if you look at also this other bill, the other bill also, if you look at it, the credit and warehouse receipt bill, the voice of the farmers is not yet amplified. It's quiet, it's silent. You've talked about improving the ICT on this other bill, the warehouse receipt bill. And now I wanted to find out also, could it be the right time for this bill to be implemented when we still have challenges with ICT infrastructure in our country? If you go to places like Shangombo, you go to places like Kashinakazi, they both want to trade in this warehouse business, but they lack this internet connectivity. So do you think that this is the right time to come up with a bill, especially a bill that will force the warehouse users to produce electronically or digital receipts? So do you think this is the right time for this bill to come? My last, just 3, sorry, Chair.
Honorable, maybe you can reserve yours so that I can give another. Okay. Honorable. You can reserve that one. Yes, honorable colleagues. Is there anyone with a question?
Yes, Honorable
Yes,
Chairperson.
yes, Vice Chair.
The Council, in Clause 18 of the Agricultural Marketing Bill, number 33 of 2025, can reject or approve the transfer of a certificate. The period is within 30 days. As Minister of Agriculture, do you agree with the 30 days? Because other witnesses have indicated that 5 working days is okay, others have said 7 days. So what is your comment?
Thank you very much. Director, you can respond to those 3 questions.
Allow me to begin with the first set of questions from the Honorable Member of Parliament for Kagwata. Forgive me, I did not come with a copy of the bill, but I'll respond to your question. On ICT, is this the right time to implement the bill, seeing that Zambia is still on its road to becoming, ICT connected in terms of other rural areas where we may not have adequate coverage? It is my view that yes, we need to start from somewhere. And starting from somewhere is what, is being proposed in the bill, while of course taking into consideration some of the connectivity challenges that, may be faced by rural communities. However, my response to your question is yes, we need to start from somewhere, and this would be the right time, to begin by implementing this bill. Secondly, on the voice of the farmer, smallholder farmers, and I believe this is with respect to FRA. Is it FRA or the... Yeah, so if it's for the FRA, I think there are provisions for a smallholder farmer to be represented on the FRA board. And like I said, forgive me, I'm not looking at the bill, but I remember reading when you look at the composition of the board, it provides for that, and I stand to be guided. Then on the powers of the minister, I elect maybe not to comment on this, seeing that I think we'll provide the position later on. I did note that Honorable Katambo did refer to us as Minister of Agriculture. I think so I think we'll be appearing on Friday, and I think we can make that submission if the Honorable Chairperson can indulge me. Yeah. So on whether the Council can reject or approve the transfer of a certificate within 30 days, as opposed to what other witnesses are submitting, 5 working days or 7 working days. We are of the view that 30 days gives a very good lead time in which maybe a response could ably be taken into account, because there are several other things, that need to be taken into consideration. Due diligence needs to be conducted before a decision can be made. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much, Director. Yes, honorable colleagues. We can start with the Honorable Taengwa, the one who had an extra question. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Your submission on the marketing bill on page 2, where you say the strategic implications, and you go by saying for farmers, the shift towards structured markets promises greater access to fair competition and protection from sharp swings of price volatility. I just wanted to find out, because equally in this bill, I don't see the voice of a small-scale farmer when it comes to pricing. Usually we see that the farmer is not, a small-scale farmer is not involved in terms of pricing. So how do we intend to cover the small-scale farmer, and also the so-called young men who are, you call them briefcase buyers, the ones who want to trade into maize So how do we intend to protect and grow the business for our small-scale farmers? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Tengwa. Honorable MP for Maguire.
Chair, thank you, and thank you, Zari, for that, for this very, very good submission you have given. I want to find out from you, taking in mind that FRA this year were first of all prioritizing those that had been given the FISIP. You remember the bonding arrangement. I want to find out from you, how can a subsidized marketing initiative be designed to mitigate market vulnerability for the private sector while ensuring fair prices for farmers and promoting competitiveness in the maize marketing? The second one, what are the potential risks and the challenges associated with subsidized inputs and marketing in the Zambian maize sector, and how can those be mitigated? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Yes, Director.
Thank you very much for those three questions. So, Chairperson, maybe let me start with the last submission on how can subsidizing inputs, in the maize marketing, I believe, help mitigate against, creating market challenges. Of course, the issue of subsidies is a topical issue, and a balance needs to be struck between food security as well as, market competitiveness. So my submission is the provision of subsidies has, to a great extent, contributed to national food sufficiency for maize. And like I'm saying, it is a very important and logical step to take, because it's one way of ensuring and safeguarding national food security. Then coming to your second question, market vulnerability and competitiveness in maize marketing. Again, what the three bills, are trying to, achieve is basically just that, trying to ensure that we have, an agriculture marketing system that is competitive, an agriculture marketing system, that is foolproof, an agriculture marketing system, that is protected from some of these vulnerabilities that exist, within the agriculture value chain. You talked of maize as a practical example. Maize being our staple crop, in my view, provides a very unique opportunity in the sense that we can capitalize on maize by growing it, for our own food needs, but also targeting, export markets. And the only way, we can achieve that is to ensure that we carry along, even the most, vulnerable, people who are involved in maize production, and in this case, the smallholder farmers. Coming to the question by the Honorable Member for Kabwata, how do we intend to cover smallholder farmers? Again, linked to my earlier submission, I think the role of farmers, particularly smallholder farmers, is very important, and their voice can be strengthened by having representation, in terms of decision making. For example, having seats on the board, and I know in some of these bills, the marketing bill and the FRA bill, there's provision to have farmer representatives. So that's one way of ensuring that farmers, in particular smallholder farmers, their voice is heard.
Director, thank you very much. Honorable colleagues, is there another one who still have a question? Director, we want to thank you very much for appearing before this committee. Thank you very much, and we are looking forward to see you again next time when we request you to come. And when you came in, we had given you the immunity which the honorable colleagues are doing job when they're in the House. And this time around, Director, we've come to withdraw our immunity which we had given you earlier on. We want to thank you most sincerely, and your team. May God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and thank you very much, members. Yeah, okay.
Well, thank you so much for still being with us on Parliament Television today, the third day in the month of December 2025. It's happy festivity to all of you that are following us through on Parliament Television. My name is Paulson Tindovi, and just been watching the Committee on Agriculture, Lands and Natural Resources considering the Agriculture Marketing Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025. They also looked at the Agriculture Credit and Warehouse Receipts Bill of 2025, and the last one that they are considering is the Food Reserve Bill, National Assembly Bill number 33 of 2025. And we had Ministry of Agriculture, and it was a director from ZARI who was making submissions on these three bills. So we still expect some more witnesses to appear before this committee today. We expect the National Union for Small-Scale Farmers of Zambia to make their submissions to these three bills. And lastly, we expect the Food Reserve Agency as well to appear before this committee and make their consideration. If you remember very well, the Right Honourable Madam Speaker did refer these three bills to the Committee on Agriculture, Lands and Natural Resources to scrutinize these bills by interacting with various stakeholders. And I do have my sign language interpreter. This is Jason Manda, and later on we'll have Chola Kauma as well, interpreting whatever being discussed concerning these three bills. And later on we expect the House to reconvene at 14:30 as they consider today's business, and my colleagues will be able to share with you what will be considered on the floor of the House just before crossing over to the floor of the House. And before that, they also share with you the business that was considered on the floor of the House yesterday. So I can just urge you to stay tuned with us on Parliament Television, and those of you that are following us on our socials, that's our YouTube channel and the Facebook page, the National Assembly of Zambia. Let's be together as we continue bringing Parliament closer to you. So once the National Union for Small-Scale Farmers of Zambia are in the committee building, I'll be able to cross back to the committee for the resumption of the consideration these very important bills, three bills, by the Committee on Agriculture, Lands and Natural Resources. Keep watching Parliament Television.
On Know Your Constituency, we profile Lusaka Central Constituency, which covers the central and eastern parts of Lusaka and has a population of 117,097 as of the 2010 census. Lusaka Central constituency houses the biggest hospital in the country, the University Teaching Hospital UTH.